You guys have a good break? Good, me too. I got some payway. Come on. Because I ain't feeling it. It ain't shaking the stage. You know what I said, sound guys? I like to shake the stage when I want. Give me some boom. Give me some boom. Okay. So yeah, we're excited about this part of the day, chasing the ever elusive hit song. It's great to be here. I think we're going to have everybody tell a little bit about themselves, right?
Yeah, but before we do that, if you can get your conference booklet out and turn it to the page for this particular panel, How to Write a Hit Song and Why Most Songs Don't Make It. This panel is going to go for about 25 minutes, just this section of it, and then we're going to have about 15 minutes for your questions. So be thinking about your questions that you want to ask coming up in about 25. But right now, we would like it if you guys could just share a little bit about yourselves. There's songwriters and producers up here, so multitaskers. And if we can start left to right, that would be great. Take it away, Ryan.
My name is Brian White. I have been a songwriter in this town for 24 years, signed 20 of those years with Brentwood Benson and also Universal Music. I write a lot of contemporary Christian music over the years and country music. And at one point, I ran into somebody who was a radio guy here last night. I was an artist on Diadem Records in the CCM field back when Bob Carlyle was doing Butterfly Kisses, and I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, glad to be a part of the conference here, and glad you all are here. And this woman here, who has impeccable taste in men, is my wife.
I'm Karen Williams, and moved here about 4 years ago from Orlando, Florida. Felt the Lord calling me to just go, and I was scared to death, but packed up my car and came, and threw myself in, started writing when I got here. I learned everything I know about songwriting from Brian White, so that's a good thing. Write country as well as Christian music, and 2 years ago signed a publishing deal with Brentwood Benson Music Publishing as well. I'm also an artist and just finished a record and getting ready to release that later this year. Is that everything you want to know about me?
My name is Kerry Barlow, and I moved here in 2001, and I've been in some bands, and Toby Mac and Joey Elwood signed me to my first publishing deal when I was 21 or 2, and that was awesome. And now I write for a company called Major Bob Music. So, yep.
Cool. My name is Billy Smiley. I came to town with a form of music that I really didn't like called Southern Gospel, but Bill Gaither kind of gave me my first shot at music. I say this laughingly and lovingly, but I joined the Gaither Trio, and I had heard, I had thought, because I grew up in Michigan, which wasn't a real Southern Gospel state, and I had thought Gaither was dead because he was in the hymnals. And so when I joined the Gaither Trio, I thought it was a group that was imitating playing Gaither music. I had no idea. So when I first met Bill, I'd come from California, wore sandals and shells and puka shells and back in the day. And I said, glad to meet you. What is this group? And so he laughingly has never forgiven me for that, but he's awesome. He is a great mentor. And so I wrote for Brentwood Benson. It was called Paragon Music back then. And then I've been with all of them, EMI and Word Warner and Curb. Now I develop and write and mentor artists, produce a lot. I love to co-write. Brian and I, we haven't seen each other in how many years?
It's been too long, brother.
Yeah, so we're going to write. The best thing is to have fun and write.
Heck yeah. Wait, you're not, I'm going to jump in because you're not saying one big piece of your heritage and your history, brother. Billy was in a small Christian rock band called White Heart, and so
Thank you.
You guys were monumental in developing my taste for music. Okay, enough about us. Let's talk about Warren and Rebecca.
I was noticing that missed out detail too.
Well, this little girl, just so you know, her dad's here tonight somewhere. I don't know, but I used to see Rebecca when you were 5 or 6, yeah, and she would be on the bus in Australia because we toured with them. Her dad was a promoter back then, and we have just nothing but fond memories of Australia.
Me too. You
And
guys are
still don't
wonderful.
like Vegemite, but everything else is good.
But you don't hold it against me.
No.
Thanks.
Well, now that we're done with our reunion,
Yeah. Sorry about that.
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're going to ask some questions, and then, of course, you're going to have a chance to ask some questions. Try to keep your answers. It's tough to answer some of these questions, but try to keep them to the point as possible. The first question we're going to ask, I'm going to go to Brian. Brian, what are some do's and don'ts of songwriting? Kind of give some rules for songwriting, and how, once you know those rules, you can break them or choose not to break them, and just what's some
Okay.
things?
As a writer, a lot of times there's some very simple things that I have found that new writers tend to miss out on. And if you're going to have commercial success or be something that radio is going to be interested in, or publishers, and there's some very simple things, everything from rhyme scheme to accent to syllable count to the length of a song. Those are rules. I mean, right now, even in radio, I know 3.5 minutes used to be, we used to sit in a room when we were writing, and they would put a stopwatch on us. And if it didn't come in 3.5 minutes, they're going to go, nobody's going to play that. Now that's even gone back. And I think Dave would probably help me there. 3 minutes, and even in country music, my publisher told me the other day, 2:48 is the new 3 minutes.
Whoa.
Because, that's a whole nother thing we could talk about it. But there's rules. There's, if you're not following the rules, as a writer who's trying to write for other artists to cut, then you're probably going to miss out. Now, if you're the artist and you go, I need all 9 verses to make this song work. Well, you're the artist, and you have the freedom to do that version. But as us, as staff writers, trying to get songs recorded by other artists, there are certain things that are really kind of simplistic in the sense of accent, rhyme scheme, syllable count. And if those things aren't following in place, then you're going to have a tough time placing that song with an artist.
It's cool.
Carrie,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Carrie, I would like to hear from you just about, in your interaction with publishers, what is the presentation that seems to allow them to get your song, like gets their attention? What elements need to be involved with the demo and pitch?
Well, for me personally, it's always been different. There's been, on a day-to-day basis, a lot of times it's just like a guitar vocal, like a work tape, and if you're dealing with your publisher, hopefully they would be able to hear through, that maybe your work tape doesn't sound the best, or, the quality-wise. But then there's been other times where, I've turned a song in and it's a full-scaled demo on the Christian side and the country side of things. If you're writing with a programmer or a producer or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, I think if it's a great song, then hopefully your publisher would be able to hear that. So.
And how relational is it? Like just having the existing relationship with people to get it into the right hands, like for you?
I mean, that's a really big part of it. I mean, artist-wise, I mean, if you're, pitching it to an artist, I mean, yeah, if you know the person or have some kind of contact close to that artist, you can get in their hands. That's obviously one of the best ways for the artist to hear the song, Yeah, there's been a lot of times for me where I feel like a song's perfect for somebody, but how in the world, where do you start? That's been a huge thing, even now, So, yeah.
Why don't you answer, you had told me backstage you had a substantial cut. Can you tell them briefly how that unfolded?
Yeah, I had a country song last year with Lady Antebellum called American Honey. And in the country world, that was one that we wrote on a writing trip. I wrote with Hillary Lindsey and Shane Stevens, and we wrote it, and just did a little guitar work tape and sent it to our publishers. And
They actually pitched it.
well, yeah, we ended up. They heard through the work tape, like I was saying, and actually thought it was a great song. So, it's weird. Sometimes after you write a song, it's like you have that. It might be a hit, but I mean, honestly, after we wrote that song, it was just another song. We were like, yeah, it's a good song, cool, let's move on, let's write another one, But anyways, so yeah, we got back to Nashville, and our publishers decided to do a full demo of it. So we paid to go into a nice studio here in Nashville and did a full demo of it.